All right. I'm back again. It's been a minute since I've been able to speak with you all. I've been, just enjoying life a little bit and spending some time with friends and family. So it's been a minute since I was able to get back around to getting out a halftime podcast episode. But I'm actually glad I took some time because lo and behold, so much has been going on, and particularly today. We're getting so many alerts, and I want to get right into it. This particular is an emergency conversation about what's going on in the NFL trade market. So we got OBJ, not necessarily a trade, but signing back with the New York Giants. Juju Smith-Schuster signing there as well. We have Russell Wilson retiring from the NFL and becoming a CBS analyst. We have A.J. Brown being traded to the New England Patriots for a first-round pick and a fifth-round pick in 2028. And then we have the mega trade, the one that nobody saw coming, is Myles Garrett being traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. Whew! All of that is happening right now in the span of the past couple of hours. And I'm only assuming that things are going to dial up even more. There may be some more trades on the horizon. There may be even some more surprise signings on the horizon. But so far, if you're asking me who's won, I think the Rams obviously won their trade, in my opinion, by getting the greatest defensive end in the NFL. Maybe, depending on how his career goes and if he gets some championships under his belt, could be the greatest defensive end of all time. Obviously, the Rams have re-uploaded or recouped on having a Hall of Fame defensive lineman on their line yet again. They went from Aaron Donald to now having Myles Garrett. So I just, obviously, in my opinion, the Rams are the big winner. The second big winner of the day, I would have to say, is the Philadelphia Eagles because they moved off of A.J. Brown, somebody who I don't necessarily think was toxic to the environment there for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he was definitely someone that I don't think was happy. And if somebody is not content, if somebody is not happy, they're not going to produce at the rate and level that you would like, that you would enjoy, and that you would want. So I do believe that by getting rid of him and sending him off to New England, it's a addition by subtraction type of situation with that in Philly. So it'll be interesting to see how things go forward with AJ no longer being I won't say a problem, but just being a quote-unquote issue within the offensive scheme of things. He won't be somebody that you need to delegate getting the ball to and things of that nature. So it'll be very interesting to see how that comes to be. And how that works out for Philadelphia. I think New England, on the other hand, they got them a wide receiver, one, to go next to the wide receiver that they drafted last year. I think that'll take some of the load off of that wide receiver and put some of that equal load on A.J. Brown to allow for the offense to be a little bit more balanced. Drake may get some more help. And I believe this is something that New England saw that they needed. They needed more weapons, and they went out and got it. I do think that this puts New England in a more threatening situation to be a contender for the Super Bowl. I think it allows them to carry on from what they did last season and to make sure that last season is not what we consider to be a fluke. It allows them to get that consistency. And so I do think it was a good trade for New England, but I do think Philadelphia ultimately is going to be the team that wins this in the long run because we know what they do when it comes down to getting picks and we know how they develop in draft. So I think Philadelphia is going to win that out. New York just signing OBJ, not a big deal to me. I think it's more so a nostalgia thing, just bringing him home. He'll be able to play maybe one more season with the Giants and then retire as a New York Giant. And that's pretty much going to be the story on that one. And I do think that the New York Giants could be in for a very interesting season. They have a chance to be really good, or it can really go really bad. Obviously, There is some locker room issues with some of the decisions being made by their star quarterback in Jackson Dart and some of his political standings and some of the things that he supports. Even though it's a free country, you do whatever you want, you support whoever you want. But you also have to read the room, and sometimes when you read the room, you recognize that sometimes being a leader of everybody in this community, you may necessarily want to keep kind of your thoughts and opinions and certain things to yourself for the betterment of the community, for the betterment of the team. So I think that is obviously something that I will be on the lookout to see how that narrative comes into play for this Giant season. And so that'll be interesting to see. But OBJ being there is not a big deal, not a big spectacle. But what I do want to harp on really quickly, and I'm not going to be too long about it because I don't want to piss myself off too much. But I've argued with people plenty of times and said that the thing that I have regretted, or not regretted, but the things that I've not liked about Ryan Poles and what he does with the Chicago Bears is that he doesn't swing for the players that we know will immediately impact what we can do defensively and help put us in a position to be a championship team. We've watched Michael Parsons go to our backyard. We've watched Trey Hendrickson sign with the Baltimore Ravens, while simultaneously we watched the Baltimore Ravens try to trade for Max Crosby, get the trade done, but then just realize they don't like his physical, so they send him back. While the Bears just sit put. Last season, on the first season of the Halftime Podcast, I was adamant about wanting us to trade for Myles Garrett, and plenty of people were just like, oh, the price tag is too high. You got to give up this. But what's the price tag too high for a generational Hall of Fame talent that you know right now can come in and help you win? The Bears have to do everything that they possibly can to put themselves in the Super Bowl championship window while Caleb Williams is not eating up the entirety of the salary. So while he's not making all of the money, you have to go and get the guys that will help you win a Super Bowl while he's under that rookie contract. And by letting Micah Parsons go to your backyard, by missing out on Trey and Max, and then now we see that the price tag for Myles Garrett was a Pro Bowl athlete, 1 first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. The Bears couldn't put something together to get Myles Garrett? Nothing? You telling me Ryan Poles is sitting back and there's nothing that he could have put together to try to get Myles Garrett? It didn't seem like that package was too steep. It would be different. If it was 3 years worth of first round picks. Now that's a little steep. I can see why you can question that. But 1 Pro Bowl player, and I'm not saying nothing against Jared Verse, but he's no Myles Garrett. But 1 Pro Bowl player, 1 first round pick. It's consecutive years, but it goes down from a first round in 2027, a second round in 2028, and a third round in 2029. Like, come on. For Myles Garrett? And you telling me Ryan Poles, you can't put anything together for that? When there's a glaring need for somebody on this defensive line to get after the quarterback? That's what this defense is missing greatly, is pressure on the quarterback from that defensive line, so that the secondary is not having to have so much pressure on them to stop guys in the open field and keep them from getting open. Like, what are we doing here, Ryan? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But hey, he gets paid to make the decisions. I'm just a fan of my Chicago Bears. But I, just like many, can see that we have a glaring weakness on that defensive line. And when you're watching guys like Trey and Max and Micah and all of these guys go for what you feel like was plausible and feasible packages, and then you see Myles Garrett out of all get traded when the Browns were vehemently saying that they would never trade Myles, that Myles Garrett was completely off the table. It's just interesting to see that actually, like most things in life, things are attainable. There's a price tag. There's a price tag just about on everything. And if you're willing to pay the price, you can just about get almost everything that you want in life. except the opportunity to cheat death. But who am I except just a Bears fan, hoping and praying and wishing that I'll see a Super Bowl in my lifetime, a Super Bowl win, not just a Super Bowl appearance. And so hopefully, I don't know, hopefully this might light some fire under Ryan Poles to see if Max Crosby deal is worth it, see if there's a possibility to make something work there. But if not, I'm going to be interested to see how the Bears go about dealing with this season, knowing that their defensive line is weak, can't get pressure, and having to address the fact that there's been so many premier defensive linemen who have moved on to other teams, and the Bears couldn't get one of them. There's only one left at this point, and that's Max. So maybe we might be in on the Max sweepstakes if we find out that his physicals are perfectly fine and he looks good with the Raiders. But according to Max, he feels like he's a Raider for life. And the way things have turned around with them by getting Mendoza, I don't know. I don't know if Max will want to leave that situation. So we'll see. But I'm not happy about the Bears not being able to snag Myles Garrett, seeing that he was able to go to the Rams in the NFC, a team that you're going to have to go through to win a Super Bowl. And yet again, the Bears snoozing and losing, allowing a premier defensive lineman to end up in the NFC, and we have no chance or no opportunity, or we're not in or being able to get that guy. I'm sure in a couple of days we're going to get some BS article that's going to talk about how the Bears put in potentially a package for Myles Garrett, but the Cleveland Browns decided to go in a different direction. I'm sure we're going to get some spectacle article like that to make it seem like the Bears didn't just sleep and that they tried to do their due diligence. But I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't subscribe to it. And at the end of the day, what's the use of almost doing things? Either you did it or you didn't. I don't want to hear about what you may or may not have been able to do. But those are my thoughts on what's quickly going on in the NFL just now. Hopefully some more information will come. Hopefully some more trades happen. Hopefully some more exciting things happen for the NFL, because I'm looking forward to the season. But right now, those are my quick thoughts on that. This is your boy, Coach M. Got It, Coach Malcolm. As always, it's a halftime podcast. And as always, we see each other out with C-Red and Bear Down, baby. Peace.